Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode for the podcast of Your Mere Self, powered by ProjectNINE. My name is Charlie, and I will be your host for this podcast. But first, just a little background information. Your Mere Self is a podcast dedicated to talking about various obstacles that prevent people from achieving their true potential. Every episode will focus on a separate issue that many people experience throughout their lifetime, in the hopes to help people of all ages conquer those obstacles in order to become their best selves. It's not about what others think, because only you know yourself best. This podcast is for you and you alone. Before I forget, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And with that, welcome to the podcast of Your Mirror Self. Episode 1, Looking in the Mirror, Past, Present, and Future. If you can now, please close your eyes. It's not for anything creepy, I swear, but it's just so that you can listen without any distractions. If you don't want to, you don't have to. After all, it's a choice. But if you can, please, close your eyes. Now I want you to reflect on where you are right now. Maybe you're at your house, at a desk listening to this podcast. Or you're in the office after a long day of work. Or maybe you're still in bed with your phone. Oh wait, sorry, that's not what I meant. I actually want you to reflect on where you are mentally. Your present. If you read the title of the episode, today is about focusing on where you are. Looking in the mirror, but not exactly the mirror that most of you are thinking about. Now, most of you are probably saying right about now, enough with the riddles. And I agree. So I want you to visualize where you presently are. Contradictory to my previous point. But I want you to visualize, please. Maybe it's out of high school, maybe primary school. You might even be at college, or you might even have a job. But take a look at what you've done to get there. Our present comes from our past, which helps us to define our future. Do you have any regrets? Well, you probably do. Regret is felt by a majority of the population, and is one of the most common emotions in the world. But that isn't the point. Because this podcast isn't about other people. It's about you. Looking at our past to better our future, looking into the metaphorical mirror. With that said, I want you to think about the biggest regret of your life. Or actually, if you're not comfortable with that, maybe just think about a major regret. And yes, I still want those eyes closed. If you're having some trouble thinking, I can list a few options. Maybe you had a fight with someone and left with words left unsaid. Maybe you work too much or worry too much about what others think. You might regret not following your passion, which we'll talk about in another episode. Or you took life too seriously. You might not have listened to your gut, or not spent enough time with friends and family. If none of what I just said has kickstarted your memory, you can also think about something you wish you had done, but didn't do. Because that is also regret. Anyways, with all that, if you had the option, would you go back and redo your life? Let me give you a few seconds to think it over. Okay, the reflection period is done. Now most people would have said yes, and it's true. Who wouldn't want to have a time machine? To fix every one of their regrets and mistakes. But the truth is, it's not possible. We can't fix every mistake that we make. And that's okay. After all, we are human. We're meant to take pain and regret and turn them into new learning experiences. What's not okay is to get stuck in the past. We can reminisce about our memories, but that's just what they are. memories. A broken reflection in the mirror. Something we can see, but something we can't fix or ever get back. Now I've talked about the present, we focused on the past, and if your eyes are still closed, you can now open them. Thank you for participating. Now I'm guessing you all know the third thing that I'm about to talk about. That's right, the future. The all-mysterious path forward. The truth is, the future is unexpected. A person can try to predict outcomes, but there are so many different variables that it's incredibly hard to be accurate. What we can do is look to our past. Remember how I asked you to think about your regrets from the past? Maybe you can do something right now in the present, or even in the future, to change something you regret into something you won't ever forget. Change is inevitable. Embrace it, run away from it. The choice is yours. But nothing lasts forever. Look in the mirror. Can you honestly say that you haven't changed in the past few years? Your personality, your clothes, your grades, your hair, who you're friends with, how you talk, everything changes. But the thing is, you usually decide whether the change can be good or bad. It's true, there are things that you can't change. Things that are just out of your reach. And that's okay. It doesn't do well to dwell on things that you can't change. Like L. Ron Hubbard once said, "Never regret yesterday. Life is in you today, and you make your tomorrow." I know when most of you entered this podcast, you thought you were going to hear me talking about being the person you wish to be, and not about regret. Well, you should be that person. But I'm not here to help you positively. I'm here to be honest. Like I said before, regret is a common emotion and can be further interpreted as a common barrier in life, which is what this podcast is dedicated to talking about. You will always have pros, and you will always have cons when it comes to making decisions. But after you make that decision, you need to be able to move forward without regrets and without looking back wondering, what if I did this? Because the truth is, you can't go back. So look forward and into the future. Live life with no regrets. Look to your past to figure out the present, to redefine your future. Are you satisfied with that person in the mirror? Do you regret anything? But most importantly, how can you move forward in life with no regrets? Close your eyes and ask yourself these questions. You are your past, present, and future combined. Always remember that you alone define yourself. To quote Martin Luther King Jr., "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." So I ask you all, no, I implore you all to do just that. Keep moving forward, because that's all any of us can do. Live life, enjoy life, be proud of life. It doesn't do well to live in the person we were, but rather we should become the person that we aspire to be. So learn from the past, prepare for the future, but live in the present. Tune in next time and we'll see where we go from there. My name is Charlie, and this has been Your Mere Self.